This is going to be my weekly makeup basket. In case you guys have never seen one of these videos before, all I've done is I've went through my makeup. I've kind of picked out a couple of things that I want to wear for this coming week, and I just keep it in one consolidated area, and then when I'm getting ready in the morning, everything's all together, and it really saves me a lot of time. Plus it also allows me to really hone in and kind of focus on certain products that are in seasonal challenges or a project pan or something. So anyway, let me go through and show you the items that I've chosen out for this week, and I'll show them to you in the order that I would kind of apply them to my face. Starting off, I have my Laura Mercier foundation primer, and this one's in the Radiance version. I have dry skin, so I can either put this down on my face before foundation, or I can actually mix it in with the foundation, and it just allows my skin to have a little bit more of kind of a dewy glow that I don't get naturally. So there's that one. And then I think this would kind of be considered a primer. I'm not entirely sure. I tried this out today and it really didn't mesh well with the foundation that I have on, but this is the Nano Blur, and it's supposed to kind of correct the appearance of wrinkles. So I do have like some smile lines right here, and I did try it right underneath my eye and kind of where the crow's feet would be, but I don't know, it kind of made my foundation blotchy and it made it really hard to blend. So I'm gonna have to play around with this a little bit more, but I wanted to toss it in and see if I could figure out a way for this to work. This came in an influencer bag. And then I have two foundations that I want to play with this week. This first one, this is the Estee Lauder Resilience Lift Extreme Foundation. I have the shade 1C1 Nude, and this is extremely sheer. It's very light in color, so I typically have to mix it with something. And I was going to try out this Covergirl Outlast Day Luminous Foundation. This is in 810, which is quite fair on its own, but I thought since this is much more of a thick consistency, these two would kind of balance out together. So there are those two. For actual concealer products, I have two of them. This first one, this goes down first. This is the NYX Dark Circle Concealer Corrector. This is in Fair. This is the lightest one that they have, and you know, I've been thinking about it, and I think I probably should have gotten like a medium one or even the dark one, because this doesn't provide enough of a correction. If I have a blemish on my face, I'll put this down too. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer, and I have it in the shade NW15. I've just been using a flat synthetic brush with this, and it seems to apply it easily, and I can blend it out a little bit easier that way. For my setting powder, I have the Makeup Forever HD Loose Translucent Powder, and it just has a sifter on the top. I just kind of dust it over after I put my foundation down so it's not tacky at all. Since it is summer, I decided to pull out the MAC Bone Beige and Emphasize Sculpt and Shape Powder. This is a little duo that came from the Rocky Horror Picture Show collection that they released. I believe it was last fall. So I just use this as a contour a little bit, and I bronze up my face with this. You know, I've never had this issue with any of my other bronzers or contour powders, but this one, you can see I had to actually get a Q-tip and dust off the hard pan that gets on this. Every single time that I use it, I have to dust off that top layer for some reason, but it's a little bit of a warmer shade, and I think it works best in the summertime. And I thought maybe I might even use this highlighter in here too. Let me give you swatches of these just for reference. So that is the bronzer shade, and then that was the highlighting powder right there. So this doesn't really have a lot of like a shimmer or anything. I would say it's more of a satin matte finish. It just really brightens. And then for blush, I actually have two options. This is going to be my main blush. This is the MAC Face Powder in Flower Fantasy, and this was actually a gift from my husband, and I've actually hit pan on this highlighting, this really light pink highlighting section, but this darker shade right here, I just swirl my brush around in there, but this darker shade right in this region here, it gets hard pan too. So I don't know what is up with this powder either, but it's been like that ever since I first had it. So that is Flower Fantasy right there, and I thought I could switch off between that other highlighting powder and this one in here. that is the highlighting area right there. I really like this one for underneath the brow bone and on the cheekbones especially. So anyway, I'll definitely be using this a ton this week. And then I'm trying to hit major pan on this before the end of the year, so I thought I would just toss it in every now and then when the blushes kind of coincided. So this is my NARS blush in the shade Orgasm, and you can see I do have a little fleck of pan right there, but last fall or last summer, I can't quite recall, but I had wanted to see how close I was to the pan, so I had a pin and I kind of dabbed it into the center just to see how far away I was, and I was really far away. But I've just been wearing down the powder slowly, and I finally have gotten to the point where I'm really close to having actual pan in the powder, so I'm not going to be satisfied until I have pan in here that's about the size of a blush brush. So there is a swatch of Orgasm right on the end here. So it's really pretty. It's a really nice blush topper to add over any kind of rosy or pinky tones. For my eyebrows, I have these two products here. This is the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Universal Eyebrow Pencil, and this is in the shade Universal Taupe. It does have a little bit more of a warm tone than I would prefer, so I'm topping it with the Anastasia Tinted Brow Gel in Granite. This is really dark and cool tone, so it kind of balances that eyebrow product really well. For my eye bases, I have two products again. This first one, I think this came in some sort of a Clinique bonus bag or something a couple months ago. I had gotten a face lotion and this came with it. This is the Clinique Chubby Stick Shadow Tint for Eyes in the shade Bountiful Beige. I've never actually had one of these before. It's just kind of a deluxe eye sample. It doesn't really have a ton of product in here, but I thought it would work well just over the lid. I tried it out today, and you know, I'm pleased with it. That is the shade right there. It's just a really nice kind of satiny, shimmery beige tone. So I'll put that all over the lid, and then sometimes I'll run this other product just into the crease and under the bottom lash line, and sometimes I'll just use this one all on its own. This is the Maybelline Color Tattoo in the shade Seashore Frost. This is actually in my project pan, and that is a swatch of it right there. It's a really gorgeous kind of bluish green dual chromed base, and it has a gold shift to it. For my actual palettes this week, I have the Lorac Pro palette. I'm trying to finish this off this year. I actually just uploaded my 7-month update for the Pan That Palette challenge. I'll link that down in the description box. I think that went up earlier today. So anyway, there's that. And then just to give me some more options as far as lid shades and maybe a different tone for the crease, I decided I would bring out the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and I really haven't dabbled in this very much because I picked this up around my birthday last year, and I only had about a month and a half to play with this before I started panning the Lorac Pro palette. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with maybe these pinks and purples. There's a lot of kind of mauvey cranberry reddish shades in here that I'm excited to play with this week. A couple eyeliners. This first one is the Rimmel Scandaleyes Waterproof Kohl Liner in Nude. I just tossed this into the waterline. It makes me look a little bit more awake. I also have the black one. It's the exact same thing, only in the black shade, and this is actually in my project pan. It's really jet black, creamy, very soft liner. It kind of sits in the waterline for about half the day, and then I usually touch it up. I also wanted to toss in my MAC Bordeaux liner. This is one of the PowerPoint eye pencils, and this one has a dual purpose for me. I can wear it as a lip liner, or I can put it underneath the bottom lash line or on the upper lash line and just set it with a black shadow. And it's just a deep and plum shade. It works really well with some cooler toned lilac lipsticks or light pink lipsticks. It's really fun to play with. And then my liner this week is the e.l.f. Expert Liquid Liner. This is new to me. It has a brush tip applicator. It's actually quite easy to get at the inner corner of your eye, and it's very easy to do the wing at the outside edge. I have the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. Let me show you the wand on this super fast. It's a little bit of a fluffier brush, gives a little bit more volume to the lashes. And I found that if this gets a little bit too clumpy or too voluminous, I can run over my lashes with the Benefit They're Real mascara. This has some really spiky, pokey, kind of hard bristles to it. So that is it there, but it does a really nice job of combing through the lashes and brushing out any clumpy areas that you may have. Lipstick from MAC, this is the Viva Glam Gaga. It's a really kind of light blue toned bubblegum pink shade. That is it there. I do have this on today, but I have something over the top of it. The other option is my Dior Lip Glow. This is the Color Reviver Balm. That is what it looks like there. This is gorgeous packaging. I absolutely love this product. This is just the pink one. I know they do have kind of a corally pink one, but this one's just the pink version. And I don't really have very much left of this product, so I'm hoping to try and finish this off in the next couple weeks. When you apply it, it's quite sheer. That's it there, but it kind of adjusts to the color of your lips, and it adds just a little bit more of a pinky tone to your lips. It's very natural. It's very moisturizing. I really love this Dior Lip Glow. Onto some glosses. I have two of them. So the first one, this is what I have over the top of the MAC Viva Glam Gaga. This is the MAC Lip Glass in Snob. The other lip product that I wanted to try and use a little bit this week is the Buxom Full Bodied Lip Gloss in the shade Cha Cha Cha. And this one is in my Finish 5 by Fall, I believe. This doesn't have any shimmer in it, and I know the Buxom lip glosses are pretty notorious for having that kind of spicy, you know, burning sensation on the lips, but their full-bodied lip glosses, they don't have that feeling. That's a swatch of Cha 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 right there. So I thought maybe I could toss this over the lip glow, or I could just wear it on its own, but I really do need to start using this one a little bit more if I want to finish it off. Typically I have a full-size perfume that I spray on in the morning, and then I'll carry a smaller version in my purse. And the one that I'm carrying in my purse this week is going to be the Taylor by Taylor Swift Solid Perfume Stick. And, you know, it's just a solid perfume. You can kind of put it onto your wrist a little bit and blend it out, and I find that it actually stays on the skin for quite a while, but I do go through these pretty quickly. It will mix with my actual perfume, my main perfume for the week, and this is the Juicy Couture Viva La Juicy perfume. So I really enjoy how sweet this is, and like I said, I think these two will pair really nicely together. So anyway, that is my weekly makeup basket. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.